Good morning. So today we're going to do a broccoli cauliflower salad. It's a little side salad that we're going to serve along with a nice sandwich today and a fresh fruit cup with some melons. I'm just starting to think about summer. So these are some summery meal with a nice sandwich, side salad, and fresh fruit. So with that, we'll get started. And I have everything cut up so to save a little bit of time. So we'll start out with some of the fresh broccoli. And so you just cut the florets up off of the stem. And then I even like to add some of the stem too. And then we have the cauliflower. So this recipe, to serve 8, it only uses a half head each of the broccoli and the cauliflower. Because when we add all these ingredients, we end up with a nice sized salad. And then we also have celery, chopped celery, 2 stalks of chopped celery. A little bit of fresh onion. And if you want it a little sweeter, you can do either a yellow or a red onion. It's going to be a little bit sweeter. So these are the cruciferous vegetables, and they guard against cancer. So they can help prevent cancer, and they can also help us to fight against cancer if we have some cancer. So just remember that eating some of these every day can be a really great addition to your health. Then we're going to add some chopped up dried cranberries. I look for the cranberries that are infused with a little bit of cherry juice. And the reason why is because it just adds a little more nutrition and flavor. So cherry juice is known for its properties to fight against inflammation. And especially for people that have a tendency towards gout, it's something that can be helpful. So eating a few cherries or having a little bit of cherry juice, whether it's infused in something else or you're just drinking a little bit. And it doesn't have to be much. I think there also are some cherry juice supplements that might be helpful as a natural, something natural that you could treat gout with. So gout is caused by a combination of some minerals that end up coming into the joints, and those joints will have some little tiny, it's almost like stones that gather into that part of the joint, and so then it's very painful. It can cause swelling and redness and inflammation. So cherry juice is one of the things that can help break it up. There's also some medication too if you have a tendency towards gout. For some reason, we tend to see more gout in the spring and the fall. I'm not sure why that is, if it's because we're eating different foods at that time of the year or what, but we do tend to see it seasonally. Just kind of an interesting fact. Okay, so we're getting these mixed up and it's starting to add a lot of nice color. And then we've got some chopped up walnuts. So remember that walnuts are heart healthy. They have good oils for us. And these are unsaturated fats, meaning that they're oils. The saturated fats are the solid fats. And so those are the ones that can end up causing some problems with heart disease, blocking some of the arteries. And so we want to have the unsaturated fats, those oils. What I always think of is like our body is kind of like an engine. We want to keep it well oiled so that it's working well. And so think about that as far as adding some healthy oils, healthy fats to your diet. Okay, so we've got those together. And then we're going to make a little dressing to go on this. So the dressing today starts out with some either light mayo, or you could add light Miracle Whip. That's what I prefer. I just like the tangy flavor of it. So when you're buying a light dressing, you get half the calories and half the fat. So that's a good thing to think about if you're trying to manage your weight. Every little calorie counts. And then some light sour cream. Again, half the calories, half the fat. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. So vinegar has some natural probiotics in it, which helps us to have healthy bacteria in our digestive system. A little bit of sugar just to offset that vinegar. A little bit of mustard. And then salt and pepper to taste. I think I've told you before, I like to buy the pepper seasoning because it's a mixture of several different peppers together. A little bit of salt, and I have sea salt here. And people ask me what is healthier, regular salt or sea salt. They're all salt, they're all sodium, they all affect us the same. The thing with the sea salt is it has larger grains, so typically you'll use a little bit less. But try to remember to buy salt that has iodine in it. We need iodine. If we don't get enough iodine, one of the things that can happen is a goiter. We want to make sure that we have iodine in our salt, the necessary nutrient. Okay, so we're just going to mix up this salad dressing with the salad. And this salad, to make it, I like it to marinate for a couple hours before serving, just because all those flavors come together really, really well. So just putting it in the refrigerator a couple hours before serving time. And there we go. So that's our cauliflower broccoli salad. And then we're going to move on to, I'm going to talk a little bit about the fruit that I made today. I didn't really make it. I just got it ready. So when we're thinking about summer, one of the fruits that we really enjoy is watermelon. And I have a lot of people ask me, well, how do I pick out a good watermelon? So the best thing to do is take a look at them, make sure that they don't have any softness around the outside of the rind. And you should be able to see a spot where that watermelon laid on the ground. So we can see this one. That means that it laid out there long enough. So we've got a little bit of color change here. And then one thing that I do when I'm checking is just tap them a little bit. And if it sounds kind of hollow, usually means that it's ripe. And this one I picked yesterday out at Dakota Crossing. They have these on sale for $3.99, which is a pretty good price. And so these are the seedless ones. Of course, they have a few little white seeds, but that doesn't hurt anything. So when you're going to get ready to cut this up, we need to remember that these watermelons have probably been handled several times. And so before you start cutting and slicing, you should wash this off very well under some just room temperature water. Wash it off, wipe it off well. Because what happens is when you take a knife and you slice through this fruit, if there are some bacteria or viruses or anything on the outside of this rind, it will follow the knife through to the fruit and you can contaminate your fruit. So that's always a good rule of thumb. Make sure you're washing off your fruit before you get it prepared to eat. So I have some already cut up of that. Then I want to also talk to you a little bit about cantaloupe. So cantaloupe, the way to figure out or find out that this is ripe is on the ends. You usually can just take and press them a little bit, And if they're soft and pressed in, it means it's probably ripe. Try to find one that doesn't have, again, those overripe signs of real soft spots on the rind. Now, this rind, of course, has the little grainy parts in there, crevices. So to be very safe here, again, with the bacteria and different things that is carried on the outside of this rind, make sure that you wash it well. And this you will actually need to scrub either with your a rag, a clean rag, or you can use a little brush to scrub it, and just scrub it really well. And then go ahead and rinse it off and wipe it off before you start slicing, so that again, as you slice through this fruit, you don't carry contaminants through to the fresh fruit. And you want to just keep yourself and your family safe. The last thing I'm going to show you today is the sandwich that we're going to have for lunch. So I'm going to go over and bring it over here. Okay, so this is a ready-to-eat food. So if you're serving food to others outside your family, you should probably have some gloves on. Today, the bread that I want to talk about is called Delight bread, and so it's Sara Lee. This has half the calories of our usual bread. So if you're trying to manage your weight, if you're counting carbs, maybe you're diabetic, and you're trying to keep those carbohydrates down so your blood sugar is in control, this is a good choice. So we've got the slice of bread here is half the calories of a regular, but it has a lot of good fiber in it and whole grains. So we're going to get our B vitamins. We're also going to get our healthy fiber to help our cholesterol, keep our blood sugar stable. So when we have 2 slices of bread together, we're going to have 5 grams of fiber, which is a good amount. We suggest at least 2 grams for each slice. So this one has 5 with these 2 slices. So we'll start out with that bread first. Then we're going to do a roast beef sandwich today. And I had to look at several different brands because I don't want one that has nitrates in it or too much caramel coloring or too much sodium. So this one actually had half the sodium of the other ones when I was looking, so that was a better buy and actually was cheaper too. So taking a peek at your label to see what's in there. Something else to look at is your expiration date. So this one has a sell-by date. Now, sell-by date just means that the store needs to sell it by that date. That doesn't mean that it's expired and you can't use it anymore, okay? You usually have another week after that, which is good to know. Then once you open it, you should use it within 7 days. Okay, so I've got the roast beef on there. Then we're going to follow that with some provolone cheese. And remember, the white cheeses have less fat than our orange cheeses. And that's a good source of calcium. So if you happen to be lactose intolerant, you can usually digest cheeses with no problem, because when you heat the milk, it breaks the lactose chain. And so now you're able to digest it. Then we're going to go ahead and put some baby spinach on here. We add some vitamin A and some other good nutrition. Another way to get some vegetable in our sandwich. And then I top the top slice with a little bit of honey mustard. And so this is equal amounts of mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, and honey together. Put that on the top. So this is a low-cal, low-carb sandwich. So we'll get everything dished up for you to see what our meal will look like today. Get a little bit of our broccoli cauliflower salad on the plate. So when we're thinking about our food groups, remember that the fruits and the vegetables have the least amount of calories and probably the most nutrition, a lot of vitamins in there, and keeps our immunity up. So here's what our plate looks like. We've got the broccoli cauliflower salad, and we've got the beef provolone spinach cheese sandwich here. And then we've got our watermelon and cantaloupe. So if you're in the area today, maybe you can join us for a healthy lunch. And next week, we're going to actually have our garden planting day on Tuesday. Those hours will be from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. We will have a healthy lunch for you, for anybody that comes and helps plant. And you'll be able to put your name in for some door prizes, and we're going to give out some incentives. So please come help us plant our garden. And we'll see you next time. Is that good?